Hi guys, thanks for your patience. We couldn't get for love nor money, could not get the video of the meeting from Monday onto the computer, onto Facebook, anywhere. Poor Oliver's been trying for hours and it's just not happening. So I'm just going to go, I've got my notes here. I'm just going to go back through what I talked about and hopefully have some little pictures up here somewhere if I can work out how to do it. I think I know how to do it. And yeah, I'll just try and get it done. While Norm might join us at some point. I don't know, he's fast asleep at the minute. So yeah, where did we start? So firstly, I went back to last week's meeting where we were talking about meat. After the meeting, someone asked about protein, and I was just in that much of a thing, I didn't even think to mention that. So protein, where do we get our protein from? Well, exactly the same place as the cows, the pigs and the sheep get it basically, which is plants. All protein comes from plants. If you're having it through meat, it's actually like second-hand protein. Hopefully there'll be a nice picture of a lovely picture of a gorilla there. If that's there, then we know we've got it sorted. So if you think about the biggest mammals in the world, we've got elephants, rhinos, gorillas. They're all plant-based. So there's kind of thing where mammals, so we just thrive on vegetables as well. People see have this big hang up on protein. Well, I just think if you just have to look around, like if it's getting advertised, mass advertised everywhere, then normally it's complete rubbish, and it's not good for you. It's animal protein is linked to many illnesses, cancers, kidney disease, strokes, heart attack, all sorts. So but there's this big thing on animal protein, when actually just get your protein from your plants. Even if you're not willing to give it up and you like protein shakes or something, you can get plenty of plant-based ones. So just go for them. Yeah, and it's the question is where do you get your fibre from? Our body fibre just is what controls how our body absorbs food. So sorry, I'm just losing my, I've not had much sleep. Norm's got teeth coming through, so we've had a fun night. Yeah, so fibre, so when we have food, fibrous foods, it kind of, our body controls how fast the sugar enters our bloodstream, and keeps how much insulin's made to counterbalance us and stuff like that. So it's a fibre that's the important thing, not the protein. There's no doctor in the world who will ever have come across anyone who has got a protein deficiency. It's absolute nonsense. You can get enough protein in your day, I think, from like a bowl of rice and some broccoli, and they're not even particularly high in protein. I think broccoli is not so much the rice. So it's like, it's, as I say, it's just a mass marketing thing. I've seen a couple of videos, and it's guys who are like pumping iron stuff, and they take protein shakes, and there's like protein farts apparently is a thing where they absolutely stink. That's your body telling you that's that your body does not like what's going in there, hence the really foul smell. Yes, they should smell a little bit, but if there's a really foul smell, it means your body's really struggling to digest it. So yeah, so that's protein. So what we talked about this week was dairy, cheese, milk, ice cream, yogurt. It's, well, and everything else, because it seems to be, if you actually start looking on labels, you'll see that they get dairy in absolutely everything, things that don't even need to be in. So what we're told about dairy, so we're told that it's really good for our bones, makes us strong, that we need it for calcium, it's really good for our teeth, and it's just all complete and utter nonsense. If you actually flip it all and do the opposite, that's pretty much where we're at. So the bones thing, calcium's that acidic, the milk and dairy's that acidic, and what actually happens is our bones start drawing calcium out of our bones to try and help neutralise, and like our body, every time we put rubbish in, our body's got to fight to kind of get it back to normality. So yeah, so we drains the calcium out of our bones. The calcium that is in dairy, yes, it has got calcium in it, but it's actually because our body again doesn't know what to do with it. It calcifies in our blood vessels and arteries and stuff like that, hence why it's a major thing for heart disease and stroke and stuff like that, because it's just blocking up what we need our blood to be pumping through. So yeah, and it's calcium. Sorry, I keep saying calcium. I told you it was a long night. So yeah, so like, yeah, and also, sorry, the cows, what the cows have actually had, they're normally pumped full of hormones, pumped full of vaccines, pumped full of antibiotics. They're always pregnant as well. Like, the reason that a cow can produce milk is that it's had a calf. So normally what happens is a cow gets impregnated, gets the calf taken away from him, taken away from her. She then starts producing milk. She's always pretty much pregnated straight away. It's like 9 months, so she probably have a little bit of a gap and then is impregnated again. So as someone who has got a 1-year-old and is now about to have another one, I can tell you that there's a lot of hormones pumping around, and that's going straight into the milk. So it's a lot to do with, it's got a major factor to do with like like girls' development. Girls used to start their periods when they're about 15, 16. Now they're starting developing. There's girls as young as 6 and 7 now starting periods. Now that is not right. But a lot of the thing in the calcium, there's that much estrogen and, as we say, female pregnancy hormones pumping around it. Of course it's having an effect on us. That's why, like, men get moobs. It's because of the estrogen. That's just what it does to you. It's just and then because it's got all these growth hormones, and because we've stopped growing, it's still trying to do these things. So it's like got a lot to do with lumps on ladies, well, not even just ladies, just on breasts, to be honest. I was quite often can go into breast cancer. There was a in the part of the China study, which is a really good study. It was the biggest nutritional study in the world. Not very well known in mainstream, because mainstream doesn't want us to know, or doesn't want you to know, us to know, that animal products are so bad for us. People have spent a lot of money marketing for this to be healthy food for us, when actually it's just making us all sick and making them guys a lot of money. So there was actually there was a study. Sorry, it's totally thrown me out. It's a lot harder in front of a camera than it is in front of a crowd of people, funnily enough. So there, as part of the China study, there was one of the studies that was done was, even though they went down different areas of China, funnily enough, and found lots of really good statistics, but one of the tests that was done in the lab was with ringies. And what they were doing, so casein, which is one of the hormones that's in the milk, and they were giving it to it at 5%, and some at 20%. So they're having 5% of their diet had this casein. They were fine. Once it hit 20%, cancer growth started growing. And then as soon as they went back down to 5%, they'd disappear again, up again, and they literally kept going 5-20 over a period of weeks. And we're literally watching these cancerous growths go disappear, appear, disappear, appear. So it was a really definite pattern in it. There was also, and there's a really good film called Forks Over Knives. If you've got Netflix, really watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a scientist and a doctor who kind of both grew up on dairy farms, funnily enough, and both were off done studies, kind of met along the way and come up with some really good results. Again, so they've, I think one of them's even been discredited because he come out with the truth. Yeah, so also weight loss, people, it's funny because I speak to people that are going, oh, I'm not eating carbs, I'm not eating jack potatoes anymore, I'm trying to lose weight, but they'll tell you their food and they've got cheese in it now, or some kind of dairy. Now the whole point of milk, dairy milk, cow's milk, is to get a little 65-pound calf into like a full-grown cow as soon as possible. So you can imagine how much fat and calories and hormones, everything in there to try and get these animals as big as they can. So surely the first thing to do if you're trying to lose weight is get that out of your diet. It's not gonna help in any way. If you get low fat ones, it's just probably pumped full of sugars and God knows what other chemicals to make it still taste nice. And also what you're not really ever told about with cheese is how much salt is in it. It's like, it's absolutely laden. There's more salt in cheese than per handful than there is per crisps. And yeah, so it's yeah, absolutely laden with salt, which is not good for us either, unless it's the right one. Yeah, so illnesses connected to dairy. Asthma. Now, I have asthma. I've had asthma. Well, yeah, I've had asthma for years. When stopped to take having dairy, you can feel a massive difference. Dairy kind of fills you full of mucus. Now, sometimes we notice it by a snotty nose. Now, if you've got a snotty nose quite often, it's not just your nose that's snotty, it's actually all over your body. Everywhere is just full of this mucus. It just happens that that's where it can come out. So yeah, so if you've got any kind of respiratory problems, cutting dairy out that makes such a difference. Acne, like teenagers that see absolutely full of acne, if they took dairy out of their diet, that would, even just by taking dairy out, that would probably get rid of it. Rheumatoid arthritis, sinus problems, again it'll just be the mucusy thing. Really heavy periods and fibroids and breast lumps, heart disease, diabetes, kidneys. It's like, it's just connected to so many illnesses. Yeah, it's just insane that it's just still getting pumped out there as a healthy form of food. It's really sad. Actually seeing trained nutritionalists who genuinely want to help people still getting taught this shite, to be honest. Yeah, so where are we up to now? Right, yeah, so now we went on to, we go on to exercise. Sorry, I keep talking the past tense, I shouldn't do. Yeah, so exercising, oh, it's so important. We should all be exercising. You should make yourself sweat every day. Now, obviously, there's so many forms. If you think, oh, I don't like exercising, you just keep trying different ones. There's so many. How I got started was when I was really at the beginning of my journey, when I was still overweight and really unfit, really couldn't breathe at all. I could barely get up a flight of stairs without having to puff on my inhaler. And I started, they put the little, if you're familiar with the Moor at Park and Ramsey, they've put like little exercise things around. They've done it in quite a lot of parks, but we've got them there. Now, I couldn't even run from one machine to the next, so I used to kind of like run what I could and then do the machines. And I decided, you know what, I was a bit embarrassed to go to classes because I was so unfit. So I decided to just start going down there. So after the school run, used to put my headphones on. Yeah, I was embarrassed. Oh, I couldn't do that. Do you know what? Put your headphones on, put your head down. You just don't look. There's a couple of old dears out walking about. That's probably about all you see. But who cares? You're doing it for you. So anyway, so I started doing that. I used to love it on rainy days because I used to just go down with a tea towel to dry the things as I went along, and there was never be anyone there, so they were actually my favourite days. So yeah, so I started basically trying to get, so it was a big thing when I could run from one to the other to the other to the other. I would obviously stop and do a little exercise along the way, which was kind of used to get my breath back really. And then as time went on, I would go to like 2 machines, and then like I'd done the lap of the lake. That was a major thing for me to go and do doing the lap of the lake and then starting the exercises. And then I think when I used to do the lake, run up the steps and come back down and then start that. I was like, right, do you know what, I feel confident enough now, and started classes. So in Ramsey there's quite a few different classes, and I kind of worked my way through all of them just because that's kind of how it went, and just doing different things, changing it up a bit. I just found done really well. And then obviously I went on to training and doing my boxing. I should have got a picture. I might even put you a picture up. I said this on Monday that I wish I'd used another excuse to get my boxing photo up, so I might just do that. So yeah, so like my exercise just progressed. I had a year where I was just had injury after injury after injury, which is when I got into hot yoga, which is absolutely amazing, and realised the importance of doing yoga or doing some kind of stretching out and stuff like that, especially in today's world where we're just always in the wrong positions. We're never sat right, we've never got correct posture. So yeah, so exercise, yeah, really important, super important. But then you have the other side of it, is you've got to eat right. You can't go and do a 10k run and then come home and have a pasty and a pint of lager. You need nutrition, and your body, and because even though it loves exercising, it still needs to recover after. So your body's trying to recover from your exercise, and then you're just going pumping it full of what it sees as poison. Then your body's just double fighting. I hear quite often people in their 20s, and they've got like kidney stones and protein on the kidneys and all these things and all these other illnesses, and it's just basically down to exercising and not putting the right stuff in your body, as with lots of illnesses, to be fair. Yeah, and as I say, I built up, so a lot of people mistakes they do is they kind of jump in and go and do like some really quite extreme like boot camps or whatever, which, yeah, do you know what, some people just do and they love, and it's ace, and they start doing it like loads, and that's fine. But lots of people, you kind of do it and you get like a little bit addicted because it makes you feel good, and then you do too much and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, and you kind of just lose interest again. So take it at a decent pace and just build your way up. Yeah, so exercise, it's like, it's really good for you. It's I think if you ate like a good diet and you didn't exercise, then you ate a good diet and you did exercise, you'd be fighting cancer by 8 times more the person exercising, just because you're pumping all the blood around your body and just getting that sweat, and it's just getting your body flowing basically. So it's just really good, and it's obviously releasing just loads of endorphins and just makes you feel good. And then also, if you've got like people, because they've got like back pain or arthritis or something, they stop exercising. So obviously some people are in a position where they can't, but you've always got to try and be doing something. And there was a really good programs on a couple of years ago, back when we had a telly, and it was the doctor who gave up drugs. There was a girl on it, she had chronic back pain, she was on painkillers, obviously because she was on painkillers over such a period of time. They were getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Then she was having other health complications because of the painkillers she was taking, so she was on more medication. It's just a really vicious circle that lots of people are stuck in. And the doctor who gave up drugs explained to her that, one, painkillers after 6 weeks don't actually really work, so they're just kind of almost a little bit pointless. And what he'd done, he got her to go to a Tai Chi class. Now this girl literally hobbled in a lot of pain into this Tai Chi class and could barely do anything. The doctor went back to see her about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, and she was, it was absolutely unreal, the difference in her. She was really good at doing her little Tai Chi moves. Obviously she'd been moving, she'd got a strength, a balance, and just helped us and learning the focus. A lot of it was the focus on how to control your pain yourself, and it was just like a completely different person. It was absolutely brilliant to see. So it's so yeah, get moving. Now also, people think that because they've gone to the gym for the day, that they've done their hour at the boot camp or gym or whatever they've done, and then go and sit, especially if you work in an office. Hang on. Especially if you work in an office, you just sat at that like 90-degree angle, and you just sitting stationary all day or most of the day. Now, as human beings, we're not designed to be stationary. If you think even to a couple of 100 years ago, we would have been out working the farm, working our veg, growing our crops, our food, or moving. There wasn't cars or anything like that, so we were just always on the move, because just doing our daily jobs. And now we can literally, we get up, we sit and have breakfast, we sit in the car, go to work, sit all day, come home, sit and watch TV. We're just stationary all the time, far too much, and it's just causing absolute havoc again with our health. So just try and think of like imaginative ways to get moving, and also to counteract the damage you're doing by sitting at that 90-degree angle. One of my friends, Jamie, he works in an office, and every time he gets up he squats. Now everyone thinks he's absolutely mad for it, but he's like, just by stretching that back out again, it's just helping just relieve some of that damage, because you kind of get stuck like that. It starts as early back, like we know that car seats for babies aren't really well. It's exactly the same. It's that 90-degree angle that we're just not designed to be doing all the time. We should be squatting, the lost art of squatting. If you go back to pooing, if you have trouble pooing, lift your feet up, put something under your feet, get yourself in more of a squatting position. You can poo easy because you're opening your colon. We're supposed to squat, we're not supposed to sit on a nice lavatory. That's what people used to sit on the floor and squat, and that's what they do. And now we tend to just lean over at our hips, which again is causing a lot of strain on our back. So it's something that I've started consciously trying to do. I'm not very good at squatting. I never used to be able to move hardly at all because I was that stiff, but it's something that I'm working on, and I'm getting a lot better. There'll be a nice picture here of 2 squats, and one that's got the flat foot and a proper, your bum sticking out, and a proper squat. That is I will be able to do that one day. Norm, it's funny because he's never wore shoes, and he's got the most amazing squat. If we actually see friends who go to like classes and all and do squats and stuff, a few people have come like, nice squat, because it's that perfectly aligned, because he's never had the shoes putting him out of kilt, and yeah, it's just great. So yeah, and then also just find ways to make you find ways to get you moving during the day. I walk around wiggling my hips a lot and stuff like that. And as I say, if you're working in an office, get the stairs instead of the lift. You know, when you're making a cup out, have a little, just try and get yourself moving. I will put on now, I'll put on at the end, sorry, as well. We did manage to get about 18 minutes at the end of the meeting, and that was my lovely friend Petra come and done a movement group for us, and it was all about, it wasn't like, yeah, her kind of movement is a lot more softer, like all the like little joints that you don't really move, and she had us all moving just our ankles and our feet and stuff like that. So it's stuff you can even do while you're sat at a desk or whatever, just getting bits moving. Have a dance in the house. It's amazing. Again, dancing, we don't do it unless we're out on like a Saturday night and had 2 bottles of wine or whatever. Well, it was my case. But yeah, it's like, again, we used to dance a lot, dance about, and it's just that movement, just getting our body flowing, just has a really good effect on us. So yeah, so that's seeing that there, 24 minutes. So obviously the group was a lot bigger, and there was lots of questions and stuff, and I had sleep the day before, which helped. So if you're watching this you weren't there on Monday and you're watching this online, yeah, apologies again, but it was just something that happened, and there's nothing I could have done about it. And if you've got any questions, please message me then. If I get a few questions, what I'll do, I will just do another video. Obviously when we're at the meeting, we have questions and answers, so quite often people probably would have asked a question that you might be thinking of, but we haven't got that luxury today. So please get in touch with me and just ask the question, and I'll get it done for you. Also, what I'm going to put on here, I'll put a little video. I just think it's that funny. I think she's just got it pretty spot on. It's called it's only like a little 5-minute video about the dairy industry, called like Dairy is Scary or something. I think how she describes, I just think it's quite funny how she does it, but it's quite sad. I'm just looking down at my notes here, and I just spotted a bit that I missed, so I'll just kind of go back to that because it is, as I say, it is health as in what we're physically putting into our mouths and on our bodies, but also it's like environmental and just the conscience side of it. Like even though we think that the meat and dairy industry is absolutely fine, do you know what? Deep down we know it's not. Our ego might not let us know that. But anyway, so yeah, so cows, if they lived a natural life out in the fields and having their babies when they wanted and stuff like that, they would live about 25 years. Now their average lifespan, well, if they're doing well, they last 6 years, because they're that emotionally exhausted and physically exhausted. Like, oh wow, I've had Norm and then I'm having another baby. Oh, I feel absolutely exhausted. So doing this, having the thought of having another like few calves, if I then got pregnant again, oh, I would not like to even think of how my body would feel, because it does. This baby making malarkey does take it out of you, and it's yeah, it's just the dairy, and it's just, as I say, the emotional side of it. Like, they're getting their baby taken away from them. Now one of the ladies mentioned in the meeting that she said, well, apparently cows have got as much, there's an emotional as us, and they have that same connection with their babies as us. And my answer was, do you know what, they've probably actually got more. They're still back to, babies are energetic beings. Babies, I've noticed there's so much of Norm, he just picks up on energy. It's relevant where we are, what's happening, it's energy that he picks up on. And these animals are exactly the same. We're the ones that have lost touch with that. And then they're just getting them babies just taken away from them, and then they're just having to produce all this milk, just getting stuff. It's just really sad. I'm gonna put on also, I'm just gonna bombard, because this having to do this, and yeah, trying to get ready for next week. I just know I'm like pretty limited on time at the moment, and plus Norm's teething, so literally when he's awake he wants to be here constantly, which is as lovely as it is. It's just causing me to have a lot less time at the moment. So yeah, it's just a documentary that I've watched over the last few days. I've not seen it before, and it was just on YouTube. It was dead easy to find, not downloading sites and stuff like that. And it was, again, it was just about meat and dairy industry, and it was really good because it kind of went into the health side of it, and then it went into the environmental side of it, which again has just got catastrophic consequences. And then actually when it went into like the cruelty side, it was actually like ex-butchers and ex-slaughtermen and stuff like that who had kind of been in the industry and had like some kind of epiphany and the realization of what they were actually doing. And yeah, it was just a really good, different way of looking at it. And it's not really gruesome. Some of them are like really gruesome that you can't bear to watch because it's in the slaughterhouse. There was a couple of little bits like that, but it was, do you know what, it was just the eyes of the animals, just seeing the sadness and the pain. It was well, I'm quite emotional anyway, so it could have been, but I just thought it was a really good film, and just a really good what they've done to it. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully, fingers crossed, on Monday I'll be back doing it, recording the meeting, because that's just a lot easier. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got the pictures there. If not, I'll just put them there just so you can see what pictures I've put on. I might have missed quite a lot. I don't think I have. But I'm just seeing I've took a lot less time. So, well, no, maybe not. Well, we'll see anyway. So yeah, I'll just shut up and go. Right.
Great. So what we can do with this hip now is we can do a U or a swing, whatever you want to call it. It feels like a U. It may not look like it, but I'm swinging the hip forwards and backwards. If you keep the standing leg, very important, keep it soft. Because right at the beginning is when we can hurt ourselves easily. Because we like the movement, we're like, yeah, cool, and then it's like,
Yeah.
So easy. Soft knees, and just swing slightly back and forward. Another trick is keep your hands up there because then your lungs are nice and big and you fill air. And we need the right music for it too. So swinging back and forth. Okay, we'll try the other leg. And you do this for the whole song, yeah? And you can feel it. Believe me, you can feel it. Prop this one up. Yes, nice and loose. It can go up and down, and then we'll try this, but gently now, because we've just told the body to do exactly the opposite of a second ago. So it needs to. Okay, this one stays stiff, and this one is now swinging to the front, swinging to the back, swinging to the front, swinging to the back. And if I had my wonderful Egyptian CD, it would really feel much better. But again, do small movements. So what's happening is actually you're pulling it up, you're letting it drop down, you're swing back, and you pull it up again. And now for the drills, I keep soft knees, but later on, once that is, the movement is kind of in your body, memorized it better. After, I don't know how many times, 20,000 times, or how often do you need to repeat a movement till the body knows it by heart? A lot. But once you're getting better, you can then stiff leg now, and it's really just, can you see? Your hip. Yeah? And can you see under my layers of fat that there was once a six-pack? Can you see it?
I was just admiring your stomach, to be honest.
No, but can you see that it's pulling, yeah?
Yeah.
Even though there's blubber on top, but we can still see it's working. There's a workout underneath. So with all of these, yeah, there's many other movements. There's the circle. So you've got an axis going here through the center of your body. Soft knees again, and your whole pelvic and hip is circling, like hula hooping a little bit. Stay soft in the knees again. Tuck the tailbone in slightly, and we're just circling around that central axis. With knees as soft as you can. La, 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 la. Eventually, once you've got that circle going, you can move around with it. It's quite fun, actually. You can move through the room. Sideways. And you're using so many muscles just here in your core. It's incredible. Because I don't do any other exercise. And I did, as you can probably witness, I did have a little six-pack once upon a time. Now it's slightly covered. Other direction. And it's quite fun once you get going. You can walk through the whole room. Okay, next thing. Should we do more things with the arms? With up here, maybe? We'll just shake a bit.
Have you got a good one that's, because I find, because I'm always holding Norm, pushing the pram, feeding this, I'm very that way. And I'm always, kind of, as far as I know, I kind of do that a bit. So if you get anything that helps.
Well, this always I find very in the morning, especially when everything is shortened. I always do this one, just a stretch, and a little bit this one. That's just like my morning thing. How about this? Do you do that sometimes? So you've got really straight arms, and you just rub them, and not completely entirely, but about 15 centimeters apart. You just go like this. That builds up.
It feels quite tough, actually.
It is actually, yes. If you don't do it, it's quite difficult. If you don't regularly do this, so completely straight arms. It also gives you a heart massage. So you can do this in any. And so that's good for this entire. Maybe more, and again, I'm missing the song, but anyways, we'll do it without the song. It's a beautiful song, la 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 la. And then you go with the back of your hand up through a warm waterfall. Imagine it's warm and you're going against it, you're stroking up against it, to the middle and then down and up. And you'll inhale as you go up and exhale as you go down. And again, up and down. And we'll do the other side. It's a shame I don't have the song.
You singing's lovely.
Can you tell that your breath follows
Mm.
on its own? Up and down. Down. Okay, and now the difficult bit, which took me 3 months, because my brain isn't that good. 1, 2. 1, 2. Cool! I can't believe it took me so long to get this coordinated. Maybe it was all the Egyptian rhythms.
Well, that's it. This is good. It is as good for your brain as well, isn't it? Because it's
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
get that
Right,
coordination. What was it? I used to really struggle to do something in a class, and it took me months and months to
Yeah, to get
figure it out. But it's good brain training.
Does that feel like, I mean, it should, if you really stretch. Yeah, what's also always good when you do these exercises is imagine that you're the teacher, because you have a completely different outlook then. If it's up to you, if you think, okay, everybody's watching me, I have to properly demonstrate it, then you put a completely, new perspective. You're like, okay, and your posture becomes better, and you're like, instead of, if I know, okay, I'm just standing here in the back row, I'll just do, whereas if you're like full presence in there.
Yeah.
Was that good for
Yeah,
the back?
good.
Cool, thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
and you can do all of this for breakfast only.
Yes.
5 minutes.
Thank you.
So I thought Petra's a really good person to come, just as I say, just to kind of show a different element to exercise, because we all think it's going and hammering our bodies, and I've done that before and had lots of injuries from it, which it's not good, because then you're stuck, you're trying to repair and stuff like that. So yeah, there we go. As I say, here's something I would really love for everyone to kind of think of some challenges to set themselves this week. How did everyone get on eating wise this week? Has anyone?
I don't know, so
Emotional eating. Yeah, it's oh sorry Oliver, I forgot you were doing that. I'll just give these. I was gonna get cool little things put on them, but just put them in and just, as I say, just have a think. Like, so even just this week, put on that you're gonna just try and get moving a little bit more around the house, or do a couple more days without meat, or whatever you're like. I say kryptonite, it's not your kryptonite, because that's what Superman had, but do you know what I mean? That thing that you can't really, you think, oh, I can't get rid of that. Just try and see if you can curb it or whatever. Mine is going to be, I'll tell you what my challenges are. I've already know what my challenges are for this week. Mine are going to be, one, I'm going to oil pull more. I need to oil pull because I've got really, from having 2 pregnancies in very close succession, and then after having Norm, a lot of emotional stuff coming up for me, and mine just went reverted back to, I was eating healthy meals, but I was eating a lot of sugar, which is a lot of people's downfall. So and my teeth are really feeling the effects of it now, so that's kind of something that I want to do. I want to really cut down on my refined sugar this week, and do some health and get moving more. I've only got 7 weeks till this little baby's due, and I know with Norm I was doing lots of movement, and this time I just haven't really had the time to think about it, to be honest. So I'm going to consciously do it. I'm actually going to put something, it's going to go in the bathroom by the mirror, so that I remember to do some little bits. I think I've figured out today, I think that's where it's going to be best. we want to do something, put it up on your thing to remind you this week I want to be really good, and or put positive affirmations on. Because it does really help, and it's only a few weeks, and if you just have them about your house, it just makes you notice them. Put something on the fridge about things that you do, what I do, things you do, what I do. It does really help. Another really good thing that I see, I done it ages ago. It kind of got lost in transition somewhere. A really good thing to do to make you feel more positive is find a picture of yourself when you remember being like really happy. It could be when you were really young, it could be because you were really slim, it could be anything. Just finding a picture of a really happy time. I'm not saying everyone's miserable now, but do you know what I mean? It's a really positive, happy time for you. It's really good to have that picture up and just kind of look at it every day and think, yeah, do you know what? That's kind of how I want to feel again, and it just helps you. Just as I say, just changing your mindset a little bit. So hopefully you'll enjoy because we were talking about dairy, I've put some cheesy type ones menus in there today. We actually had for tea last night, and I just quickly made it just from the stuff that we had in the house, and it was almost like a bit of a roast. I did take a picture. I will put it on. It was just some mushrooms and onions, and then some broccoli and some potatoes. And I just put this like warm cheesy sauce on it with some basil in it, and oh my goodness, it was absolutely amazing. There was no dairy was missed on that meal at all. So yeah, hope you enjoy them, and yeah, that's it really. Yeah, ace. And then we'll see you next week. Sorry, any questions? I keep forgetting to ask that.
Tai Chi class, did you say there's one in Sulby?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Oh, okay,
I think 1 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock on a Thursday.
Oh,
In Sulby, in that little hall.
The one just by the Sulby Glen, is it? In the
It is. It's
No,
not
it's down
going
the
up,
road, it's down.
down the road. Yeah,
down the
not
road
up
a
the
little
Glen.
bit. Turn off the Sulby Glen down.
Crossroads.
Towards
Yeah.
Sandygate.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Crossroads, just before you come to the Glen, it's
Yeah.
just down there.
Yeah.
On the right hand side.
Oh, right, okay.
But I don't have a contact, unfortunately. But I think he teaches at the college as well.
Who is it? I'll try and. Do you know
It's
what? I'll try and find something.
It
I'll
was
try and
last
find
year.
something.
There's a notice in Andrew's shop. Did you notice
Is
that,
it?
Marie? A notice in Andrew's shop about it, wasn't it? Monday.
And- Oh, did they do it in Andrews as well?
I think so.
Oh, right. Okay, I'll have to try and find out. Yeah, because that's something that's really good.
But he's
Um,
great, that guy. And it's quite an established group. You know, there's always about 5 to 9 people there. So
Yeah.
there's always someone there.
But it's it's an exercise I would never have thought of until, as I say, until I watched the doctor that gave up drugs, and the difference in this woman was absolute. She was literally like that. She was humped up to the eyeballs, and then she was having other problems because of the medication she was on, and it was kind of, she was on a bit of a slippery slope really, and the difference in her was absolutely unreal, just because it's getting the balance and the muscle structure and stuff there. So it's really good. So yeah, and I'm looking to exercise classes. Well, it doesn't have to be classes, people obviously do what I do. I haven't got time at the minute for exercise classes, so I've got my bike and I kind of go out of there and do as much as I can, just doing things like that. But yeah, just trying to get yourself active and get yourself moving. I know
Would even not sitting on a chair as a challenge.
not sitting so
You
often
know,
on a
if
chair.
you sit on the floor, or like the Japanese around the table, that would probably change muscles in your
Yeah.
posture.
We've actually haven't got a sofa in our house anymore. We've literally got beanbags because we just it came out at Christmas, and then it ended up, we quite liked it because one, we weren't sitting as much, and we were down on the floor with Norm, and obviously now the other one coming. So it was just really nice actually to not have that sofa there, because if the sofa's there, I'm not saying everyone get rid of their sofas, but and even if you are sitting on the sofa, yeah, exactly, try and change your position, or try and get out of sitting like that. If you've got really good bosses and they want to buy you nice chairs, they actually, I don't know if anyone's ever seen them, you actually get the Fitball. We used to just have a Fitball as a stool for our computer actually, but you can actually get seats that have the Fitball sat in it, so that when you're sat there, rather than sat in you're kind of bouncing, and you can move your hips and do it while you're working, which is really good. So it's yeah, try and get yourselves moving, get your body flowing. A word that the yoga teacher, the hot yoga teacher, always uses, and whenever I go for a massage, she always tells me I'm stagnant, and it's like a stagnant pond. We're just not, my body's not flowing as it should do because I'm just not drinking it well. I am trying to drink enough water, but I feel like I'm in a bit of a losing battle at the minute, and just not moving properly. So it's yeah, unstagnant. Get your body flowing. Yeah, and then I'll see you next week. Is there any types of recipes that anyone's wanting that you've got that? Oh, I'm online. And sorry.
The fermenting? Sorry.
Yes, I'm going to do that next week. I'm going to have a little present next week. I've just bought that.
My son's got a nut allergy, so a lot of these alternative recipes have got nuts in. So if there's anything that you can do that haven't got nuts in.
Do you know what? When I made that cashew sauce last night, I used half pumpkin seeds because they only had a few cashew nuts in, and it was really, really nice. And because it can have seeds to take it. Yeah. Yeah, pumpkin seeds, and literally, so on the recipe it'll often say soak overnight, or you can just simmer them for 10 minutes and it'll just have the same effect. It just does it in fast forward. But yeah, you can use
Try seeds instead of nuts.
seeds, yeah. Well, yeah, I never thought of using seeds, and I seen a recipe the other day on Facebook, and it was making this cheesy thing with pumpkin seeds, and I was like, ah. And I lost the video. I was like, no, but I tried it last night with the two, and it was really good. So
Because he doesn't like cheese, so if I can find a plant-based alternative to cheese, that would be amazing.
yeah, he doesn't like cheese. Ah, right, okay. Well, It's-
so if I look to lose,
yeah,
right, isn't it?
the well, he eats his greens and he's getting plenty of calcium, so it's
And I tried that rice milk and really liked it. I had it with me when we were camping at the weekend. Someone said be careful giving it to the baby because it's got piles of arsenic in it. So look it up. Like,
in the rice milk.
yeah.
I know some of them. The plant-based milks are like not as great as what they say, but I'll have a look into that. I'm not really.
Yeah, I don't understand
I'm
what
not-
arsenic is.
I've not really heard of that, but I'll have a look. And, right, okay.
It's like natural.
Sorry, yeah. And the onliners.
Right,
Right, okay. And the onliners. If you've got any questions, if you just private message me or whatever, and I will do a little video to answer them or answer you privately. Okay, thank you.